This program contains scenes of raw sexual magnetism right from the start. And we're live.
You are now listening to Radio Rufus.
Yes, you pasty princesses. Welcome back to another purely putrid episode of Radio Rufus. That's right, we are back, taking you around the world to such exotic locales as P. Diddy's house and New Zealand. As we always do, we bring you the latest and greatest on what's happening on the globe, be it sports, news, weather, games. It's your typical radio show with a twist. And in the case of this episode, it's a titty twist. That's right. Later on, I'll be grabbing both of Aidan's nipples and yanking them to Kingdom Come in a new game. Yanking them till Aidan comes. In a new game that I've called Straight from the Teat, just to see if we can get anything out.
I've lactated before and I'll lactate again.
My mum when I was born.
And again when your sister was born.
That's a quote. Most cows. Have you though?
Not to my knowledge.
Right, because it is possible.
There is a good bit of debris that would soak into with the chest pubes.
Right, so you think it's just got lost in the forest?
It might have done.
Yeah. Like me on my D of E gold expedition. It wasn't your forest, but I did get lost.
Yeah, but here's a question. Say you were about to have your morning coffee. You had 2 hours sleep the night before. Long day of podcasting. Hard at work at this very strenuous job. And you realise you're out of milk. And you could produce milk from the teat. Or do you drink your own?
I like my coffee how I like my woman, of course. Black, so it's not a problem for me. But how would you solve that conundrum? Would you...
If I had it there accessible to me and it wasn't particularly sour, I think...
So are you saying that if you were a breastfeeding woman, would you squeeze it out there if you had no milk in the house? Is that what you're trying to ask?
I'm saying if you had the capabilities, you personally, not a breastfeeding woman,
okay,
that say...
But I just to be clear, I don't.
You don't, hypothetically. Would you use your own milk to top up your morning coffee? I think it tastes
different. I'm not an expert.
It's probably like oat milk.
Yeah, it's one of the weird ones.
Have you ever tried oat milk?
No.
Tastes like shit.
Yeah, because that's good. They're trying to gaslight you into believing you can milk a nut. You can't.
Can you fuck?
You can't squeeze anything out of a nut. I've eaten oats. Well, they're not even a nut. It's barely a nut.
Yeah.
You can't get anything out of that. I think that's just white water, isn't it?
More or less. I don't know where it's fucking disgusting.
And there's too many of them. But I reckon now that we've mentioned it, like there will be a few sort of quite woke cafes, the sort of places that sell hand-printed tote bags.
If anyone's left over from the Will Any episode, they're going to be fuming right now.
Yeah, absolutely on the ropes. Until you find out that the local cafes they're doing breast milk now. You get a shot of breast milk in there.
A lot of people will be all over that.
Yeah. It would attract the wrong crowd, I think.
I suppose it's like 100% profit because you don't have to pay the suppliers if it's straight from the teat.
Right. Okay. I'm assuming it's homegrown.
Yeah.
You're not shipping it in.
No. This is teat to cup.
Right. Oh, so it goes straight in right there and then.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like
that's part of the party trick.
Right. So
did they do latte art with their fucking tip milk?
Wait. It's like Subway. Like you can watch it being made in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all part of the. They're a coffee artist.
More or less.
Sandwich artist. Yeah.
They're a coffee artisan.
Exactly. Yeah. So there we go. Just a bit of local news for you there. And now we're going to get on with the banter section. By the way, the man who has yet to say hello, he's gone on a tirade about breast milk, but he hasn't introduced himself, is the man to my right, your left, Aidan Rafferty. Say hello to the people.
Hello.
So I was on holiday. We haven't recorded for about 4 weeks.
No, we haven't.
I was finding myself.
You were.
I had the gap year I never had.
Bit of soul searching.
A little bit of soul searching. Lot of prawns. I have to say, a lot of prawns and white wine. Basically, it was basically a hen do.
It did seem like it from your Instagram stories.
If it was all men. Yeah.
I was like, are you on a holiday with the lads or with my fucking auntie?
Yeah. Well, I would have liked your auntie to have been there.
Yeah. was trying to think, do I have any aunties still in commission? But I do. There's one or two.
Yeah, and I bet they love going to Pizza Express and having some dough balls and a bottle of Prosecco, don't
I'm
they?
assuming so.
Because that's
I wouldn't
what
put
we
it past
did.
them.
We went all the way to Gibraltar to go to Pizza Express. And I hate people that do that.
Yeah.
I hate people that go on holiday and have a McDonald's. But we sort of did do that.
I went to Amsterdam and had a McDonald's
Yeah, so why? Why?
because I was fucked off my tits on brownies. And the McDonald's was just appeared. I'm still not sure if whether it was a mirage or not.
Right. Do you think you
But I
might
definitely had something or someone. I don't want to check the missing children report in Amsterdam that weekend. Is all I'm saying.
Funnily enough, so the place I went to, Barcelona, then I flew from Barcelona to Seville.
Mm-hmm.
I had La Masia, the Barcelona FC academy,
Yeah.
on my flight.
Fuck.
It was like the under 12s, like
That's
the kids.
mental.
It was basically like future Messi, Xavi, Iniesta,
Yeah.
all those guys.
The
I did,
Lamine Yamal of
I did
tomorrow.
feel a bit weird taking a picture of them, but I thought I need to keep this.
Yeah, it was. I remember whenever I first moved to London, I saw Inter Milan like with a couple of coaches and then like 25 12-year-olds in Inter Milan
Yeah.
full kits.
And I have to say, I'm a big fan of La Masia because it's basically like an elite boarding school if they only played football.
That sounds class.
Which, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if like gay stuff happens in the boarding house there as well, but it certainly did in other schools that I may or may
Yeah.
not have been to.
They're very theatrical, the Spanish.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Very romantic people.
Yeah.
Um,
I've got an issue with them.
I've got a bloody issue with
Let
them
me
as
know.
well, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the same.
What's yours?
La Masia, clap when the plane lands.
Is that like peak humor to them? Is that like when everyone went mental in the Minecraft movie? Or is it genuine there?
No, I think the coaches have told them to do it. I think it's a cultural problem.
Yeah.
Like
that's
there's,
awful.
there's something wrong with the way the school is run. That they clap when the plane lands, and the flight was only 45 minutes, so that's not impressive at all.
Did you see that? What do you call it? La Sagrada Familia.
Mm-hmm.
Are they still building it?
Yep, they're still building it. Classic Spain. If it was Germany, it would have been finished 500 years
This
ago.
is 140 years. I went in 2018 and
Yeah.
saw that there was still scaffolding and was thinking, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, I went in 2021, and it looks exactly the same as it does now.
Surely at some point the foreman comes in sight and is like, right, lads, you're taking the piss here.
Yeah.
Come on.
You're too busy building TikToks with like pretending that a shovel is a microphone and doing all that sort of shit.
Yeah. Like, you have had too many lunch breaks today.
Yeah. I went for a lunch break after the Sagrada Familia, and I knew it was a bad time when we walked in there. Spanish restaurant, and all the staff were Chinese. I think, like, I know that there are people who look Chinese who are actually from Spain. There must
Yeah.
be. This was not that, because I ordered a paella, yeah?
Yeah.
And it came in a fucking wok, mate. I'm not
That's
joking.
hilarious.
There was Chinese writing on the side of it.
Yeah.
And that is not the traditional tool.
I'm not trying to disrespect the siesta, but maybe if they stopped fucking napping through prime graft hours, it would be finished by now.
Oh, no, I couldn't agree with you more. Then we took the bus down from Seville. Is lovely. Really nice. Sort of place your mum would like to go on holiday,
Yeah.
right? Then we took the bus down to Gibraltar, which is the biggest missed opportunity of anywhere ever. Gibraltar. Lovely location.
Nothing in it.
In the Mediterranean. The national park is beautiful and full of Barbary macaques, which are a kind of monkey. They're only monkeys in Europe, and they live on the Rock of Gibraltar,
Yeah.
which is the
They're
enormous.
just chilling there.
Just chilling. There's about 300 of them.
Fuck.
They don't look that dissimilar to you, actually.
Maybe that's where I'm from.
You were like you're like Kid from the Jungle Book. you were a human, but you were raised by the
Yeah,
monkeys,
yeah.
and so
that adds up.
and they were like sort of just eating potatoes and then shitting in the road. So it was very much your
Similar to my upbringing.
sort of activity.
It got to a stage though where I was like 16, 17 and I got to be hairier than the monkeys. So they're like, right, what the fuck's going
Yeah.
on? So I didn't belong
Although-
to that community either.
Although different from you, they have completely hairless asses.
So is mine.
Is yours also flat and very pink?
Veet all over it.
Oh right,
There
yeah.
hasn't been a hair there in years.
Yeah.
That's a complete lie. I've never done anything to sort that out.
Oh, we know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's day one hair.
It's actually been designated as an official biohazard.
It fucking is.
Yeah. It's like the Chernobyl exclusion zone.
Yeah.
It's going to be radioactive for years.
It would be safer fucking taking a donder through the Gaza Strip.
Yeah,
than going near there.
Less chance of disease.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, so Gibraltar, lovely national park, lovely beaches, great location. The people are a real... If it was Spanish, it would be wonderful. But it's full of old British people running away from prosecution, it feels like.
Yeah.
You know, lots of tax dodgers, lots of old people with no teeth.
What you're saying is it's going to be your retirement home.
Like, we're in Spain, right? And it's calamari, it's rosé, it's lovely fresh food right across the border.
Greg's in a Gibraltar.
And then we walk across. So Gibraltar is so small, you have to walk across the runway of the airport to get to it. That's how small it is.
Yeah.
Right. And ideally they close the gates when the plane is taking off.
Yeah.
And John Lennon actually got married on that runway to Yoko Ono.
Right.
Which-
That's what they're known for, really.
Which is a funny one.
The only real thing I know about them is that Ireland always got drew against them in like qualifying campaigns.
Well, that's a free win. So.
Georgia and Gibraltar, and we struggled against both every time. We'd look at the table and be like, right, we'll get our goal difference up against them. It comes to the game and we're scraping a 2-1 win or a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, against
like
Gibraltar.
a 90th minute equaliser.
Which is basically like the team is half macaques and then half like retired oil salesmen. Yeah. So we walk across this thing and immediately it's worse. As in, like, we walk past this pub with basically spoons. It's like, I didn't come on holiday. There's literally people splitting the G. Like, as soon as you get in there, we had a shit fish and chips.
Yeah.
They've built a beautiful marina, and in the marina is a Wagamama, a Las Iguanas, 2-for-1 cocktails, Hendrick's pub, Bruno's nightclub. You know, it's just, it's basically Benidorm.
Yeah, it's a bit like, it's one thing I don't really understand. I do get how it's nice to have home comforts and stuff like that, but the amount of people I know from Ireland that has moved to Australia just to hang around with people they went to school with, drink in Irish pubs, and join Gaelic teams. Like, you can do that there. You've got maybe hotter weather, yes, but is that the only appeal to Australia?
It's like going abroad because you get no play from the EU dem, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you get absolutely no... The English accent is like immediate -10 charisma.
Yeah. How do you reckon the Irish accent will be received? Similarly?
I think you do all right, but you just have like a historical bad reputation. Whereas ours really went downhill over the last 10 years or so.
Yeah. There was never a point where yous weren't allowed in pubs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, we made those rules. But like as soon as you get the only people you're gonna shag in Europe are like people from Telford.
Yeah.
Who are also on holiday and probably have a double chin. You know what it's like. Barcelona, city full of beautiful women, and absolutely not all of them hate you.
Yeah, and you ended up with someone from fucking Croydon.
That being said, I was wearing a I Love Dilfs t-shirt for 2 days.
You were maybe attracting the wrong crowd.
Yeah, maybe that was the problem. Then I went to Morocco, which is another one of those countries, a bit like Egypt, where everyone is trying to rip you off all the time.
And how many times did you successfully get ripped off?
Oh,
every time.
Yeah, I paid like as soon as we touched down, like I'm handing out 500 Moroccan dirhams for a skewer of random animal on a stick. You know.
Do you know you can just say no and they'll instantly back down?
Yeah, but it's good price. It's a special price for you, my friend. No matter what it is or what the price is, it's always a special price, good price for you, my friend.
Like on the way home from Centre Parks, my dad got a taxi from there to Luton Airport.
Yeah.
And the fella put the meter on and it was going up like £1 every second. And I got to the stage where it was like 120 quid.
Okay.
And at the end, he was like, yeah, this is the price, my friend. And my dad was like, you'll take 50 quid. And he was just like, oh, yeah, okay. He rang him beforehand. He rang the taxi rank and they said, oh, it'd be 45 to 50 quid.
Yeah.
But this fucker was trying to rinse him.
Yeah.
But as soon as he called him out in it and was like, nah, you'll take 50, he was just like, yeah, okay.
The problem is you go to Morocco and you don't know where to start because I don't know what anything costs.
Yeah.
And also it's all in Morocco money, which is
what
quite
is the
hard.
currency called?
Dirhams.
And what does that translate to?
It's like 12 dirhams to £1. But it's like quite hard to do the maths in your head.
Yeah.
And like you're just like whatever.
Whenever you're on holiday and you've got a bit of income, it's monopoly money, like.
End up paying 10 quid for a bottle of water or whatever.
Yeah.
It's quite a liberal place for an Arab country, I should say.
Yeah.
They can drive, the women.
Do they have windows?
They've got windows, so you're allowed to. Yeah, windows. You can play chess. You can play musical instruments.
Nice one.
I almost got absolutely mown down in the road. They drive awfully, just terrible.
Yeah.
I almost got mown down. Woman in a massive Mercedes, and after that, like, I start to see where those guys are coming from. It starts to make a bit of sense to me.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they shouldn't. Maybe they shouldn't drive. It was pretty close. That was pretty ropey.
After that, you're like, right, take away the licenses, take away the chessboards.
Yeah. No more saxophones for you, mate.
Is it Vietnam that's the country with like the most dangerous traffic?
I don't know, because in Iraq, for example, every third car is a tank, isn't it? So that's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, but if you can't fucking outrun a tank, there's something wrong.
Yeah, that's not what I'm worried about, though.
It's getting blasted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe this is heavily delusional.
Sometimes, like, I accidentally put the indicator the wrong way when I'm driving. Like, what if instead of, like, you know, what if
Instead of beeping the horn, you launch the nukes.
Yeah, what if instead of flicking the lights on, you just launch a shell? Like,
I do think I could both outrun and outmaneuver the, what's the word for it, of a tank? The barrel.
okay. Well, it's sort of not really relevant, though, is it?
Well, you were saying that was your fear, getting
Yeah.
potentially blasted, but I don't think they're the quickest of things,
Right.
especially at short range.
Yeah. Oh, so you want to get a bit closer to it?
Yeah, it'd be harder for it to get you if you're closer. If you're running away, it's time to.
If you're sitting on top of it, it's almost impossible.
Unless did you ever play tanks in school?
What?
Oh my god, the game Tanks. It used to be like a Miniclip game
Okay.
where you could play with like 4 people, take turns on the keyboard. You could upgrade you basically had to shoot and aim the tank to take out the people playing with you in class.
Right. Okay.
It was fucking unbelievable.
No,
There'd be people watching this that were all about that
Yeah,
game.
I'm sure. I was more of a Club Penguin guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Orange Puff. When the Orange Puffle dropped, that was like one of the biggest. I'm sure anyone who had a membership, smug pricks with a membership back in the day.
Did you have a membership?
Of course, I had a membership, mate. It's not even worth playing if you don't. It's basically a peasant. It's basically constructing a class-based society in Club Penguin, isn't it? Like, between members and non-members. And you turn up at your friends who aren't members, and they got a shitty igloo. Like, you can only have a red or a blue puffle. Absolute peasant.
Yeah, you've got like a 3-story complex with
I've basically like got Diddy's house. I've got like 400 bottles of penguin lube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those puffles are loving it. I'm making them give me massages and stuff.
Funny enough, his name was Puff Daddy.
Puffle Daddy. Yeah, it's short for Puffle Daddy. Yeah. Then I went to Amsterdam, last stop of the trip, on the way home, and didn't realise this. It was the 750th anniversary of Amsterdam.
You would assume they'd been about longer.
Yeah. It felt really recent to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure, like, my house is older than that, probably.
Yeah.
It's definitely older than America.
How was America?
1776, I think.
That's a very... How was Australia? Australia's very young as well.
Yeah. But, like, there were some people there before that who would have different ideas about that. But because of the, well, you know, because they only came up with spears and we had guns, like, we sort of won that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very contentious, apparently, but I don't know anything about it. Like, they have a whole holiday to celebrate.
Is it called Australia Day?
Australia Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very clever.
And some people don't like celebrating it because it's like, it wasn't really the start of Australia.
Yeah.
But if you talk to some other people, those guys only made, they only made sort of dot paintings and spears, and they wear feathers as clothes. So maybe they shouldn't have it at all.
Yeah. I'm just picturing like Liam Dowling running about with a spear now. He's a really only Australian that I know too well that the viewers of this would be familiar with.
Yeah, so the closest thing you can think of to an Aboriginal Australian is Liam Dowling.
Yeah.
Splitting the G in Clapham.
Splitting the G, then chucking a spear at a fucking kangaroo.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. So we went there, 750th anniversary, so they closed the entire highway.
Yeah.
Sold 225,000 tickets to this thing.
It's too many tickets.
And then they had Martin Garrix and Tiesto and all the local legends.
Yeah.
And I think Martin Garrix and Avicii are the same guy, but I got that wrong before. They are the same guy.
One of them's dead.
One of them's dead, but they are the same guy, sort of. which it was 31 degrees. It felt way hotter than that. Not a cloud in the sky. It was the hottest day of the year. Just on the highway.
Yeah.
225,000 Dutchies. Right? And
that is a Dutch oven.
it was a proper Dutch oven. Really nice. Yeah. Smelt like that as well. People just chunning on the road, like people fainting. Not enough toilets, obviously, so people just having pisses in bottles and stuff.
Yeah.
And Dutch people are big. Like they generate a lot of
Big lads.
big lads, big ladies. Feels like I'm being man-marked by Erling Haaland at that festival. It was just like the whole time it felt like I was going up for a corner.
50-50 ball.
Yeah. 50-50 ball. Aerial battle.
Yeah. I can't imagine you'd have a very highly successful aerial duel rate.
No. It's quite difficult. That's my type. That sort of very blonde, very tall.
Viking breeding.
Yeah. Maybe it's something like deep inside. Maybe I'm like a generational cuck. Where it's like, if you know what I mean, like I quite enjoyed.
Your great ancestors had a cock chair.
Yes, they had a cuck bench. I don't think the chair had been invented.
Yeah.
They had a cuck stool.
A cock slab.
in the corner of our shack.
In the corner of the stable.
In the corner of the stable. And I used to like, well, I was going to come up with another stupid name, but he probably was called Rufus.
Yeah.
My ancestor. He used to like watching, get my wife get ragged by a Viking, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would explain a lot.
Would it?
I do think the Viking breeding idea, as much as it sort of borders on eugenics, I can see where they're coming from.
Look,
Whenever they're in battle.
I'm not going to support eugenics publicly on this podcast.
Yeah.
But Sweden did eugenics for a long time.
Yeah.
And let's just appreciate some of the results.
What I'm trying,
I'm not supporting it. I'm saying it works.
What I'm trying to say is, if I knew that I was going to war in 100 years, fucking sure you'd want the 6'8" people breeding with each other.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have an army of 6'4" 12-year-olds.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
As the Dutch do, famously a very strong military power. They wouldn't have had those colonies. They wouldn't have the Dutch East Indies if they didn't do the eugenics. Maybe. That's not scientifically accurate, I don't think.
I also don't know enough about eugenics to fully understand how ridiculous everything I just said was.
No, it's always good when you really throw your weight behind a theory that you don't understand.
I'm doing it for like 70 episodes now.
Yeah. The Great Replacement. All that sort of stuff, yeah. So that was the trip. It was pretty good. You went on an equally exotic trip, I would say.
Yeah, I argued that it was probably just about as culturally enriching.
So I went to Spain, Gibraltar, Morocco, and Amsterdam. You went to Bedford, yes.
Center Parks.
The cultural hub.
Yeah, a lot of people do say that.
One of the great cities. Lots of architecture, beautiful architecture, great pieces of art.
Tennis courts.
It
did have an Italian restaurant, so basically went to Europe.
Right, yeah. It's Spag Bowl.
It was horribly reviewed. I never went to it. It was like 1 star. Although they did have the nicest fucking chicken wings of all time, and they're this like American style barbecue place, and it was fucking unreal.
Oh wow! Well, you basically went on an around the world trip there.
Yeah,
basically a gap year.
It's the first time I went on a holiday with like my family outside, like my whole family outside of. I went to Scotland when I was 5, but other than that, it was the first one.
And that doesn't count because that's basically Ireland.
Yeah, I do remember one thing about that trip. It was the first time I experienced like what do you even call them? Shared changing rooms at the swimming pool. So I was like a 6-year-old lad, and there was cocks everywhere, there was tits everywhere, and there wasn't like cubicles or anything. People were just changing in the middle.
I don't know
if
you used to do this at school, but when you're a kid, like the girls and boys used to change together for swimming lessons.
The pools I went to in primary school did have cubicles.
In our school, maybe this is weird. Everyone just used to change all at the same time.
Yeah.
When you're like 5 for swimming lessons.
Maybe. I mean, it's not really. You're not sexualizing things at 5 years old.
No, obviously. Yeah. And everyone's just rocking the flat anyway.
Yeah, there's not much there.
5-year-old boys and girls, they're all exactly the same.
Yeah, you can't tell until.
No, it's only hair length. That's all that gives it away. Yeah.
At the top.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Or in my case, everywhere.
But everyone, like I was rocking the absolute rice grain. You wouldn't have been able to find it with a magnifying glass or a microscope or one of those hadron collider things.
Arguably smaller than some clitoris.
Yeah. Arguably, I was letting myself down there. Yeah.
I got accused of being Turkish again.
Yep.
Not in Bedford. I went to classic football shirts in London, trying to get like an old retro football top.
Yeah.
And it was.
They were like, "Would you like Galatasaray?" Did they say that?
I was pulling through a railing of football jerseys.
Your hometown team.
There's a fella beside me. I was like, "Oh, sorry, do you mind if I just put that back in there? That's where I got it from." And I was like, "Yeah, work away." And I was like, "Oh, you might want it actually, Galatasaray top."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'm not fucking Turkish."
Not yet.
I was there trying to get a fucking Italia 90 Ireland top,
Mm.
and all I get accused of is being a Galatasaray ultra.
Yeah. Big Fenerbahce guy. This guy. Yeah.
I think if I was to go for any of the clubs, it would be a Gala boy.
Yeah.
Mainly because where I'm from is called Galbly, so all my fantasy football teams are always Galbly Tassaray.
Nice. That's
which is genius.
absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. Or in recent years, whenever Al Nasir came about and the Saudi takeover, my road is called Der Nasir, so I spelled it like DER-NASSR.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
So there we go. We caught you up on all the holiday chat while we've been away. Now let's get into the news, and it's a huge W for everybody's favourite freaky fartbox fanatic, Sean Diddy Combs.
Did he?
New updates. Yeah, Diddy Combs.
Did he or did he not, though? What do you reckon?
Oh, did he? Oh, he definitely did.
Yeah, there's no fucking arguing, though.
Prosecutors, though, have decided to drop key parts of the charges against him. They will no longer seek a sentence for arson, kidnapping, or sex trafficking. But unfortunately for the freak-off legend, he is still on the hook for prostitution, bribery, witness tampering, and drug-related offences. So about half of them are gone. The arson allegation was actually from Kid Cudi, who claims we've covered that he
Broke into his house.
Broke into his house and opened his Christmas present.
Which is still so fucking hilarious.
And then locked his dog in a bathroom.
Yeah.
But now Kid Cudi alleges that he set fire to his car. Cudi thinks Diddy done it. Did he?
He did.
He did. And then the unfortunately named David Weinstein, hopefully no relation, but you can never...
Especially if he's running about with Diddy.
Who's Diddy's lawyer.
Oh, it's 100% a relation. He's pen pals with Harvey at the minute.
Described the move as a partial victory for the Puffinio. But there was another bit of bad news, which we really want to get into here. Because of how long this trial's going on, more and more photos keep coming out. And I think the latest release is just an absolute treasure trove. So let's have a look at some of these photos. If you're listening, we'll do our best to describe them to you. This first one is just full red room of pain, red lights on, and it's just a full lingerie and high heels kit.
Yeah.
And I like to imagine Diddy wearing this.
That's what I was about to say. We know that he is a sexually devious little man, but is he talking out in this gear?
I have to say, even if he's, he's a man of color. I don't think anyone's ever denied that.
No.
And even on the lower end of sort of expected penis for a man of his race, it's going to be very much pressing through that mesh like a Play-Doh.
You would need to tuck it up.
Yeah, you need to tape it back or do a serious waistband technique. But I'm not sure that works when you're
There's
wearing...
not enough waistband in that thong.
Yeah, that's true. That is...
Maybe that them granny pants in the middle are his.
Yeah, well...
Just to hide the snake.
There is a thing in the middle that's quite hard to... It could be folded. That could be a whole Batman costume.
Might be, yeah.
Which I like to imagine him watching over the orgy like a vigilante.
Yeah.
But like you don't know he's there until he's gone.
Yeah, the hero they need, but not the one they deserve.
Yeah, like you turn around and suddenly the whole bottle of baby oil has been replaced.
He is quite short, isn't he? So maybe the high heels are his.
He's a short king. He's done a lot for the short community. Him and Dinklage really been carrying it the past sort of 20 years. And I don't know what sort of tittage he's rocking, but those bras in the top left are actually the thing that looks like they fit in the best.
Yeah, they wouldn't be for the bustier of women, I'll say that.
No. Well, that's well, that's basically a slinky held together with 2 bits of string, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then there's a load of high heels down there. Now, this next photo is one of the best images of all time. Because this is a picture of Diddy getting a full-on leg massage in the studio.
You know what it looks like? You ever see those football respect moments where it's like the 20th minute of extra time in a World Cup final and
Cramps up?
Yeah, the opposition are helping each other stretch.
Yeah, so Diddy's got a bit of leg cramp here, and the massage therapist is just sort of getting him right. And what I love, favourite bit about this picture, is the producer still
You've got someone live cutting it in the background.
Still making beats in the background. Because the grind never stops.
And this fucker's got a blue light on. That'd see some shit in that room.
Oh, yeah.
UV light.
I didn't even spot that. So there's another guy is he doing a tattoo?
I don't know, but he's definitely got a head torch with some
But
UV.
he's got a UV head torch on, which if you put that on at a Diddy party, you wouldn't even be able to see the wall.
It would just all be the one color.
It's just all stain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would just need a regular torch. Maybe his job is to locate the areas that isn't covered in semen so Diddy can take care of it.
Yeah. It's so funny that like that's like Metro Boomin in the back there making the beats. And Diddy, they used to like those behind the scenes documentaries of like LeBron when he gets, you know what I mean? He's getting
MJ
massaged
before the flu game.
He's getting yeah. This is MJ warming up to drop 30 with Ebola. And the thing about this strikes me about this picture as well is there is nothing sexual about this in my mind.
Nothing at all.
It looks like he's a sports massage.
It looks like he's getting ready to go to Power League in Shoreditch.
Like if I was if I would present this if I was Diddy's lawyer as like, look,
he's clearly not a sexually devious man.
Look how legit this is. He's just like prime LeBron getting massages off the court.
No sign of any sort of erection either.
No sign. He's absolutely smashed it. No tenting whatsoever, and the lower half is fully covered by that towel. She's nowhere near his penis.
No,
that is so legit.
Yeah,
that is nice areas.
If this was a live photo, you might see a bit more.
Yeah, if it was a boomerang, she might have gone a quick drive by with the hand on the groin. But you don't see that.
No, not at all.
And here's the last image. And I think this explains a lot. This is a picture of a load of bottles of baby oil.
Yeah.
They're way smaller than I thought they were.
Those ones on the left are fucking 3-liter jobs. That's like
no, that's perspective. That's
no. The other ones are definitely, the lids are smaller. They're a different color. The ones on the right are like for a half-hour job. The ones on the left are for his marathons.
But you read the thing about like 10,000 bottles of lube or whatever it was. I was expecting them all to be.
How wide would the fucking lens have to be to fit in 10k bottles? That's probably just...
No. I'm not saying this. This is the whole stack.
This was his inventory on that day.
Yeah. You can only carry so. This is a stack.
Yeah.
This is 64 bottles here.
Yeah.
They do stack.
Once he discards all his flint and gravel, he'll get a few more in.
That's the thing. Before I actually updated the game. And they didn't used to stack.
Yeah.
But now you can carry way more. Do you think when he was arrested, this is what he dropped? Yeah. But the bottles are smaller than I imagined. I think that explains a lot of it. Because I thought it was all going to be pints and gallons and gallons and gallons.
Yeah.
But there's actually quite reasonable amounts of baby oil there.
I would say those left-hand side ones are 500 mil bare minimum.
Okay, but those other ones... You couldn't. I don't
like shots of lube.
Yeah, that's basically
like a bit hit.
A Jaeger bomb. Those ones, I don't even think you could oil a whole baby with one of those.
I don't really want to be thinking about oiling babies and the Diddy
That's
case.
what baby oil is for, yeah.
Yeah, but this is lube.
Why would you want to oil a baby?
Oh yeah, it's called. Yeah.
Can you quickly look that up? Why would you oil a baby?
This might stem from the Catholic Church.
Because. I don't know about you, there's no baby oil in my house.
No.
Let's ask AI here. Baby oil is used to moisturize and soften a baby's delicate I don't like delicate there. Yeah. Helping to prevent dryness, because I swear I've never seen a bottle of that in my life.
I have, to be fair. It might be to like prevent nappy rash.
Actually, no, I lie. We made a slip and slide once in the back garden.
You need it for that.
Very effective.
We just used fairy liquid for ours.
Maybe that's what Diddy was doing. Maybe he was having a school fete.
Just having a massive
That'd be
slip and
hilarious.
slide.
He's got like Kid Cudi in the stocks.
And they're all wearing Batman costumes.
Kid Cudi in the stocks. Everyone's throwing sponges at him. And then, like over Jay-Z's getting a bit over competitive in the egg and spoon race. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Do they used to school fetes at your school?
I don't know what school fete is.
You know, like, there'd be a raffle, and there'd be that thing where you can throw a ball at some plates and break them. Teacher in the stocks, you throw sponges at the teacher. There's probably bouncy castle. You know,
Is this like for charity?
it's to raise money for the school, I think.
I think maybe done something similar, but it's never called a school fete. It just sounds like a non-uniform day.
Once a year, there'll be a lads and dads cricket match, which you guys haven't even heard of cricket, so you wouldn't have
Not
done
yet.
that.
It hasn't got that far.
Um,
We did used to have bun sales.
Huh?
Bun sales where like family members would be
bum sales.
bun.
Oh right, I thought that was something very different.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
you should be selling bums in primary school. Like,
No. But
you'd be
you,
all over it.
yeah, Diddy's running a bum sale.
Did he have a pocket full of pound coins?
yeah.
It would be like, it'd be sent in with like a box of Rice Krispie buns, marshmallows with chocolate and Smarties in them, sell them for like 30p each.
Okay,
and then
so
it just goes
a
to the
bake
school.
sale. Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Bake sale, that would be the word for it.
Yeah, so a bum sale.
Bake sale just sounds very yank.
Yank.
Yeah.
No. Right. So that's Diddy update. Weekly Diddy news. Now, the woke mob. The
Yeah.
woke win for the woke mob. Finally,
Mhm.
my team gets a W. As I've always said, I've always been a part of the corn eaters and fur haters over at Peter.
Mhm.
They scored another victory in a key battleground area. I feel like the animal rights activists they didn't have a lot of sway in China.
Nah.
Let's put it that way. I've eaten some things they would get very upset about in China because, as we know, if you put enough Laogan Ma on anything, it tastes all right. That's if you put enough peanut sauce on anything, it tastes all right.
Yeah.
So we are in China.
Mm-hmm.
We are at the Lihe. This is gonna go badly. Lihe.
Sounds like you're doing a shit fucking Michael Jackson impression. if he was Chinese.
A Michael Jackson. Trying to think of some other Michael Jackson stuff. I dangle my baby over the balcony.
Oh, Jamon.
Bubbles. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe the monkey was Chinese, right?
Yeah,
Monkeys are
by default.
Yeah.
Unless they're from Gibraltar.
Yeah, right. Apart from those 300 monkeys, which are your descendants.
Yeah. Did they have the AIDS monkey?
No, we would know.
Yeah.
We'll never find out who the AIDS monkey was, but
I'm fucking looking at you, Bubbles, if you're still kicking.
you can't be Bubbles.
I know we've discovered this, but I'm hoping
If it was Bubbles, Michael Jackson would have died of AIDS.
Yeah.
but
That was the main flaw in that theory, wasn't it?
yeah,
Michael Jackson just didn't have AIDS.
no.
But you can forgive me for thinking that he did.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He
sort of
looked
went a
very,
bit
he looked
AIDS-y
very
at the end.
unwell.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson. You have AIDS.
Yeah. Freddie Mercury works better in that accent.
Freddie Mercury. Yeah. Man with a one chopstick go very hungry. As they say. I've been there. You can't call that. That is not like a offensive stereotype.
Yeah.
I've been there. They are like that.
What's your favorite Chinese Queen song?
Chinese Queen song.
Yeah.
Have you lining up a joke
No,
here?
I'm just asking you.
Because what does that even mean?
Queen and Freddie Mercury. What's your favorite Chinese version of their song?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
I just wanted you to say that. Fat bottom girls. This is so stupid. Another one bites the dust.
Bites all the dust. Yeah. So we're here in the Li to Liangjiang Holiday Hotel, which that is the most stereotypical Chinese name of anything.
Yeah.
It's called the Li He Li Du Liangjiang. No, this is actually
fucking party.
the name of it. Li He Li Du Liangjiang holiday hotel.
It sounds like somewhere Big John goes every week.
Yeah, he thinks it's a restaurant. And it's also in Chongqing.
No, it's not.
It's in Chongqing.
It's not in Chongqing.
You've heard of Chongqing?
Yeah, the old sayings.
No, not the old
Do
saying.
you remember them?
No, the city Chongqing in China.
I've heard the other way.
No.
Different.
We're gonna avoid that. We wouldn't want to cause offense to any Chinese people out there.
Yeah, we'd never do that. Yeah.
We'd never do that. Man who go to bed with itchy bum and wake up with a stinky finger. We would never want to do that. It's in Chongqing, which you haven't heard of it. No, it's a city of like 15 million people. Like, it's bigger than London.
Oh shit, yeah.
But like everywhere in China is a city of 15 million people.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point where there's actually no villages because it's all one big one. One big one. Sorry. But yeah, it's in Chongqing, which is a real place. But I feel like they probably should have renamed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Just to avoid any,
It's a call in an Irish village patio tag. Like,
Yeah,
it's just like,
exactly.
It's so stupid.
So the whole name of this place is Li He Li Du Liangjiang Holiday Hotel Chongqing. And it was ordered by the government to end its unusual wake-up call service after animal rights concerns. And the service in question involves bringing one of the hotel's Red Pandas up to a guest bedroom in the morning.
Right.
So if you want a wake-up call, it's the panda.
Are they actually pandas this time?
Yeah,
Or the
yeah.
Chinese painting dogs again?
Yeah, so if you don't know, we've covered a story on this show before where there was a zoo. There's a panda shortage in China, basically because they don't breed very well.
They're just so lazy. And
Yeah,
so
they're
thick.
so lazy. They don't breed. They're very much the chronic masturbators of the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
So the zoos have been painting dogs like pandas, and they thought people wouldn't notice. What do we notice? So the service.
You know, Paul Wolover, my guy.
The service. Basically, if you want a wake up call, they bring a red panda up to your bedroom in the morning, and then they basically just put it on your bed. And I
Just leave
guess
it there to roam around.
I guess the idea is it inevitably will wake you up through a combination of moaning, shitting on the sheets, kung fu, the whooshy finger hold. Yeah.
That would quickly wake you up.
Yeah,
It's a harsh alarm clock.
Send you back home. So a British couple made a vlog of it last year, which really set the authorities off about it.
Yeah.
We basically, the red panda, there's a courtyard in the middle of the hotel. The red panda climbs a tree like prime Tarzan.
Mm-hmm.
Then a staff member sprinkles a bit of apple on the sleeping person, and then
It's a trap, it sounds like.
then the panda like hops on the bed, and you basically get to spend a few minutes with the panda.
I
Give it a kiss, I guess.
Yeah. I don't think I'd trust it just freely roaming around the hotel room, because they'd be straight to the mini fridge,
Yeah.
and you'd be out of fucking fortune and Pringles. Because they're going to go straight for whatever food there is. They're going fucking mental over a few apple crumbs.
Yeah. Expensive in the minibar.
Yeah.
So the staff said that they keep 4 pandas on site, and basically they take shifts. Doing
Shift work.
Yeah.
Imagine them in between smoking fucking fags outside.
Yeah.
What time you on to? The fucking late shit tonight, horse.
Oh, I gotta do wake up calls again. Like, can you take my morning tomorrow? Yeah. So there's a lot of concerns about this. Basically, you might injure the panda, or like the panda could give you like Chinese AIDS.
Yeah.
Just
picturing them complaining about the commute from Chongqing. Fucking traffic was awful today, lads. You're gonna have to cover the earlies.
Oh yeah.
Can you wake up that fat British couple?
No, you're gonna have to do all next week. Where I've taken time off, paid time off. So I wouldn't want to be woken up by the panda, because I think it would bite me, and then either I get Chinese AIDS, or like I become like it's radioactive and I'm like Spider-Man.
Yeah, you'd be Panda Man.
Panda Man. Yeah.
How would that sound in a Chinese accent?
Oh, Panda Man. Yeah, I like Panda
You'd be
Man.
like a folk hero.
Yeah,
Why has there not been a Panda Man yet?
yeah. Except like I
Kung Fu Panda, I suppose, but he wasn't called that.
no, they should have called it that. Yeah,
Panda
yeah.
Man.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
I think Panda Man would be so shit because
Yeah, Nick Fury's not knocking on your door anytime soon.
no, he knocks on my door and I'm just there like chewing bamboo. Just
Fucking pulling yourself off.
yeah. I was just asleep most of the time. Yeah. Maybe he is in the films, but he's just a very minor character.
Yeah. They had a fucking tree in it, Groot, so he's just probably chewing on his fucking branches the whole time.
Yeah, that'd be true. Groot would not love it.
Nah.
No. I am a Groot. Right.
Did it say, by the way, that they borrowed the pandas?
They borrowed the pandas from the zoo.
Is that zoo ever seeing them pandas again, do you reckon?
Well, it's said basically they said that, being like, well, they can't give people diseases because we got them from the zoo, and famously, animals in zoos don't have diseases.
Right. Still don't know if I want to trust it.
And also, did they?
That's what I mean.
yeah. Borrowed. Yeah.
That was one of those fucking midnight balaclava borrowings.
Well, the main problem is that red pandas are a nationally protected, endangered wild species.
And they have them fucking waking up British
So
tourists.
you can't have it as a pet. You're not allowed to have one as a pet.
Yeah.
And you can't have it. You can't put it in a circus or whatever. You can't have it for entertainment. So I don't know if this is entertainment or not. It is.
Yeah, to some degree.
So some people might be heading to the gulag
Yeah.
soon, but the case they're
No
very
buybacks.
yeah. You can't yeah.
No redeploys.
That's right. You can't rebuy. You can't
Yeah.
get another shot.
Final Storm.
Yeah.
Buy stations.
All in. It's all in. Yeah. And in China, their court system is, well, speedy. So have fun in Xinjiang, guys.
Very understanding, though.
Very understanding, yeah. Okay, on to sport now. This is Snatch of the Day, and we're going to listen to an interview with a bloke called Nick Harvey, who thinks he's invented a new sport. Well, he's decided he's invented a new sport.
He's hell-bent on this.
Yeah, as we're about to see, called underwater rugby. I think he might be the most delusional man in Britain. Let's just take a look at this.
Contact, but ultimately, it's as you've seen on the video. You're in a deep pool, 4 meters deep or thereabouts. That's what we play in Putney. You've got snorkel, flippers, mask, and you're trying to wrestle.
Fuck me. What the fuck is this? I accidentally screwed up.
No.
I'm sorry.
What the fuck is that?
I'm sorry for listeners there. What we've accidentally done is scrolled onto a different YouTube short of an Arabic market of a guy getting slapped on the arse with a broom and then dropping a basket on someone else, and then someone else trips over a dog. So there we go. That's not what this segment was for, but there we go. Right, back to underwater rugby.
Ultimately, it's as you've seen on the video. You're in a deep pool, 4 meters deep or thereabouts. That's what we play in Putney. You've got snorkel, flippers, mask, and you're trying to wrestle a ball which is a slightly smaller diameter than a football, filled full of salt water, into a
My
large
God.
waste
This is just a
basket.
fucking
Is the
roping
goalkeeper
match.
allowed
So-
to sit in the basket there, because that's effectively what was happening. It looked like, is that a goal? Would you call that goalkeeper?
So this is how the sport works. It's played underwater in a pool. There are buckets stuck to the bottom of the swimming pool, and then a thing that's like a small football, and you got to try and get it in the bucket, and you're wearing flippers and stuff. Right? First problem. That's not rugby.
There's no relation to rugby here at all.
Absolutely nothing like rugby whatsoever. Second of all, judging by this footage here, if you can just keep rolling this footage through,
Goalkeeper, exactly right. So you've got
there's a
two
certain-
positions. You've got a goalkeeper which does exactly that. They puts his back on the goal and uses the fins to put pressure.
There's definitely a zest to it.
well, that's the thing. Men,
There's just ass and face there for a good 30 seconds.
Yeah, this is essentially a pretense for having a sort of weird
Trying to come up for air, for example.
And it's mixed.
underwater orgy. It is mixed.
It's a recipe for disaster.
And
the tactics is deciding when you go.
when this is funny when he's talking about tactics, etc. There are no tactics in this game.
No, that's just a flailing match.
And that guy's just it's a lot of head in ass.
Someone just got kicked in the head there.
Yeah.
That's just a lot of ass there. Like, that's
Shoulders in.
what's going on?
Sort of play the game. but they're able to do it in a much.
It's like a really, really strange music video.
This angle is there's a lot of arse in that.
All that was us.
Yeah.
I felt like I was watching fucking Nicki Minaj or someone.
And this is like when middle-aged women get the alternative equipment out and pretend they're going to the gym. Yeah. It's not a sport.
Yeah.
This is not a sport.
They start hula hooping and stuff like that.
Yeah, they start hula hooping and they're like, I'm going to get abs. That's not how it works. That's not how
This
it works.
is the type of brand deal Elliot Cass will be paid to promote.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's alternative shit sport. And what gets me is he's
got his
crap.
own uniform, his jersey, the initials on it, a fucking crest made.
It's got a logo. Great Britain underwater rugby, as if there's any international matches.
At least there's not going to be any clash with website
So they
domains.
play once a week in a swimming pool in Putney. Keep in mind that I've never been to two swimming pools that are exactly the same.
Yeah,
So there's no regulation
that is true.
pitch, is there?
You could have an away game in a place that's got like a lazy river on it.
Yeah,
It just fucks you
there's just
over.
a slide in the middle. Yeah, and what gets me is he's so convinced that this is a great sport.
Yeah.
But it's basically a pretense for a sort of underwater orgy, as far as I'm concerned.
And they didn't need to make rugby any zestier than it already was.
Yeah, and it's not rugby. So
Yeah.
just absolutely shit all round.
Yeah.
Just terrible.
It would be that you'd have the horniest, gropiest middle-aged man signing up for this. No attempt to play the ball at all.
Yeah, they're absolutely offside.
Yeah. They'd just be hoping to get into the lobbies with no cameras.
I'll get the woman or the ball, but not both.
And I've got no interest in the ball.
Yeah, but although, judging from this footage, the women who are involved in this seem pretty hench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would just be like man marking the regular man.
Yeah, it's like the time I shagged an Olympian. She was pretty hench.
She shagged you.
I tamed the lion.
Yeah. As best as you could.
Yeah, as best you could. It actually reminds me a lot of this.
Yeah.
I was so sweaty I might as well have been swimming.
At any point were you submerged in any sort of liquids?
No, I was submerged in fear.
Guilt at all?
No, not guilt.
Any sort of shame?
No, I felt like a deer that had been just instantly run over, and I didn't know where I was. I was submerged in amazement. I think I was just absolutely just in a state of shock.
Maybe this is where your interest in Viking breeding came from.
Yeah. She was so much taller than me, bro. So much taller.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. That's why the whole thing ended. Is my neck hurt from looking upwards, from looking slightly upwards.
Yeah. Did she like pick you up and stuff for a kiss?
She could have.
Yeah.
Yeah. She could bench me.
Did she ever like lean down and give you a kiss in the top of the head or anything?
I mean, probably. I don't remember a specific time, but it
Yeah.
absolutely would not surprise me. And I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit.
Yeah, you'd feel all cozy inside.
No discussion about who's going to be which spoon.
You all day long.
Yeah.
That's your cozy little safe space.
I mean, I don't mind Little Spoon, but it would be nice to switch every now and again, except I'd basically be holding on to Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Are you switching in other aspects or just the cuddling?
Funny. Right, moving on. We're coming on to the games segment now. This is Gamey Schumer coming at you. We're back with an absolute favourite. It's Mad Libs, baby.
People are loving this at the
People
minute.
love it, so we'll keep on doing it. We love doing it. It's always hilarious. Aidan, hit me with a plural noun.
World Trade Center.
Okay. Job.
Snake tamer.
Yeah. I think the official term is snake charmer.
Snake charmer. Put that down.
Yeah.
Cheers.
A place.
Timbuktu.
Yeah. Brilliant. Number.
412.
Yeah.
Didn't want to just do the funny number.
Yeah, that's a great number. That's one of my top 3 numbers. We should do that. Number 3, 1. Number 2, 3.
Yeah.
Number 1, 2.
That makes sense.
Those are my top 3 numbers. Quick top 3 for you right now. Adjective.
Milky.
I have a suspicion this one's going to be shit.
Really?
I think I might have picked the wrong topic. The name of this ad-libs is called A Letter from George Washington. So, verb ending in ing.
Oh. Suckling.
Yeah. Plural noun.
Fanny flaps.
Yeah. You're back on form.
Nice.
That's a great one. Place?
Uh,
Do one of the funny ones like Gaza or Ukraine.
I'll go for Iran.
Yeah. Adjective.
Stiff.
Stiff. Yeah, fantastic. Plural noun.
Good chairs.
Good chairs. Verb ending in ing.
Cradling.
Plural noun.
Uteruses. Uteri.
I'm not sure. What is it?
Is it uteri?
I think it might be.
Uteri.
I'll go with uteri.
Yeah.
Adjective.
Voluptuous.
Yeah. How I like my men. Noun.
Chris Benoit.
Who's that?
The WWE star that took too many steroids and killed his family and
Part of
himself.
the body.
Scrotum.
Yeah. Verb. People have been asking for the unreleased Deji cut.
They have been.
Well,
At least the Deji cut.
Where, so the Zack Snyder cut. Where we played this with Deji, just if you don't know, but we had to cut it because he didn't know what a noun and a verb and an adjective was.
What's this one?
Verb.
Ended in ing.
No, just any verb.
Amputate.
Yeah, brilliant. Adjective.
Silly.
And part of the body to finish us off.
I don't want to say taint.
There's been a lot of taint action in this one so far.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
It's like batting in cricket. 9 out of 10 times you bat first, and then the other time you think about bowling and you bat.
Back of the kneecap.
Okay.
Is this about to be the first disaster class of?
I think this one has an extremely high probability of being shit. In which case, we might have to retire Mad Libs forever. Hello, my fellow World Trade Centers. It's me, George Washington, the first snake charmer.
That's fucking class.
I am writing from Timbuktu, where I've been secretly living for the past 412 years. I'm concerned by the milky state of affairs in America these days. It seems your politicians are more concerned with suckling one another than with listening to the fanny flaps of the people. Never mind. When we declared our independence from Iran, we set forth on a stiff path guided by the voices of the everyday goochairs. If we're going to keep cradling, then we need to learn how to respect all uteri. And that's a
great. Yeah.
That's a proud statement. That's a Yas Queen right there.
Respect the uteri.
Snap,
yeah, get some
those.
snaps going.
Get some snaps
going. In the chat.
Yeah. Very rare. Really a Rufus moment there, I
And
think.
of course it was accidental.
Yes, yeah. It would
But
never.
we stand by it wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Respect all uteri. Is that even correct? Uteruses. I don't know.
Well, cactus is cacti,
Yeah.
and they're basically the same thing.
Unfortunately, I don't know, and I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is not very respectful, I don't think.
We just lost whatever credit we just had.
Yeah, but that's a first Yas Queen moment of the podcast, I think. Episode 71. Right. Don't get me wrong. We had voluptuous problems in my day too. Benjamin Franklin once called me Chris Benoit and kicked me in the scrotum. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we were able to amputate in harmony. Let us find that silly spirit one again, or else I'm taking my back of the kneecap off the quarter. That's the end of the sentence, but I don't know what that means.
Can you read out the first sentence again? Because it got me.
Hello, my fellow World Trade Centers. It's me, George Washington, the first snake charmer.
Why that's so hilarious to me.
It's just, I don't know it either. It's actually not that funny.
Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
I God, don't know idea what that is.
I think it was a movie. There needs to be the same.
George Washington snake charmer. Yeah. Morocco was a bit like that.
Was it? What is it inherently built into snakes that just means they love a good tin whistle?
Yeah, and the bulls love a sort of moving red carpet.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
Do they love it or do they hate it?
What would you rate it? You're the best. What should I review next? Like if you like, and please don't cry. I've been Anthony Fantano. Good night. Right, now we're going to move on to the final segment of the day. This is Questionable, where we ask you an interesting query, and then we read out the best responses of all time, of all the responses. It's a little bit like reading the responses to these is a little bit like sort of I'm trying to find a salmon in like shark infested waters. Right? There's one salmon and everything else is just inedible, horrible sea cucumber, old boot, stick. You know, I'm fishing with no enchantments on the rod. And my penis is the bait. That's how it feels reading all of this.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm dangling my penis into shark-infested waters, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. Here we go. The question for today is, what have you done that would get you cancelled? Part 2 of this. Here we go. I walked into KFC with a tiny, cheap speaker. I hid it and put on a 10-hour video of just a smoke detector beep.
That is quality, in fairness.
Yeah, that would drive you nuts. That's like Chinese water torture.
One time, I think I've told you this before.
Sorry. Water torture of Asian origin.
Yeah, we figured that out last episode. There's one time we had a house party and there's just these random girls like a year younger than us that landed. Nobody wanted them there. They would not fuck up. They were screaming. They were shit-faced. And we were trying to get them out so we could head out.
They
They
landed.
just would not leave.
Or like aliens.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, they just spawned in out of nowhere. Yeah, they came in peace.
Nothing fucking peaceful about the way they were getting on.
Oh right, they came in angry.
They did. And I was trying to figure out how to get them out without having to forcibly remove them. So I just played that like high-pitched sound that mainly only dogs can hear on the speakers.
Yeah.
And it just drove everyone crazy because it was just fucking up their ears. And within 2 minutes, they just left.
Wow. Could you hear it as well?
Everyone could hear it. It was like a really irritable, high-pitched noise.
Yeah. So that works. If you got any people you need to clear out over, maybe they should do that. There's quite a lot of homeless people in Brighton.
Yeah.
Maybe they should just play that everywhere.
Maybe the Palestinians should think of that.
That would work. That would be an effective tactic. Bluetooth speaker, dog whistle, 12-hour YouTube sound effect.
Maybe if they get all their speakers together.
Yeah, they could do a jam. They could have a Spotify jam.
Spotify jam.
Yeah. Right, next one. I instigated a fight between two kids with Down syndrome selling chocolate bars to raise money for some charity group that was trying to take them on a trip. I got the two of them to fight, and while they were fighting, I walked off with 4 Hershey's. Was this you?
Sounds like a great day out, in fairness.
For some reason, I had in my mind that, like, these guys weren't both from the same, like, charity or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought they had somehow happened upon 2 different charities who were forcing kids with Down syndrome to both sell chocolate in the same place at the same time, which would be an unreal set of coincidences.
Yeah.
Which is like the two
like rival gangs.
It's like the 2 big gay West Indians who lived in the same room at my school.
Yeah.
Which is like unbelievable that lined up.
Yeah. Do you reckon they were put there intentionally?
Oh, what do you mean? To like
The big gay West Indians?
Oh. I don't think the boarding house has an official policy of encouraging bumming, and that was the result of that.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like, there weren't that many people. You know, there were only so many people to choose from.
Yeah. Slim pickings for who you wanted to bum.
Next one. Held my mate's head back whilst he was wearing a full burqa. Sorry. That's not even the funny bit. There's no explanation of why he's wearing the burqa. That's why I'm laughing.
Yeah.
Held my mate's head back wearing a full burqa whilst he vomited into my flower pot, with a cig in one hand and a glass of red in the other. That's very haram.
Sounds like your holiday.
Yeah, this was me in Morocco. All highly visible from the 4th floor balcony. went down well in East London. So they were doing it somewhere around here.
Yeah. I wouldn't be annoyed if I missed the next one.
When you were wearing that nun outfit, you weren't a million miles from a burqa, I must say.
It did. There was thoughts that crossed my mind about converting
To
Islam.
from whatever you already are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is sort of nothing, right?
Probably the poster boy for Catholicism.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to be on that poster.
Nah.
No one wants to be the boy. The main boy.
Not at this age. I'm a bit safer being the poster boy.
At this age, how are the man still hating?
It's like a fucking ad-lib machine all day.
You know that song.
I don't know if I do.
At this age. You know, Fruity Fredo, or whatever his name
Who
is.
the fuck is that?
Fredo? I can't remember.
Fredo?
Fredo's a rapper, I think.
Yeah.
Drill
ting?
Drill ting, yeah. Re-up the ting.
Should have said that.
Yeah, he's a drilly ting. And he was on an Instagram live once. And like, it got a bit zesty. And he was like, don't do that, mate. I'm on live. So now he's like, everyone calls him Fruity Fredo.
So he realised it was zesty and shut down?
I only know him from one Dave feature.
Right, okay.
At this age, how are the man still hating? My young boy in a different country, but he have never been on vacation.
That sounds familiar.
You know that one, yeah. Absolutely nailed that impression.
Almost as good as your Chinese one.
Yeah. At this age, how are the man still hating? It's alright, yeah.
When they never been to Chongqing.
Never been. Man has never been to Chongqing. Come in my ends, we will give you a fucking whooshy thing on. Yeah, so that sort of thing. Right. Next one. I say Rocket League anytime I pass someone in a wheelchair.
That is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. That's just slam dunk funny.
Yeah.
Like, there's no arguing with that.
That
That
might be
is
one
funny.
of the funniest features we've ever had.
Yeah. And I think you might have started something among this podcast as well. Yeah,
I'm going to seek them out.
A little off-air game.
Yeah.
You ever played Spotto?
I might have.
You say Spotto when you see a yellow car and you like get a point.
Yeah, we just give each other a dead arm whenever you see a yellow car.
Right, yeah. We could say Rocket League. We could play Rocket League.
Yeah.
If you want.
And give them a dead arm.
Oh yeah. Now they've got 3 limbs that don't work.
Rocket League and you run over fucking RKO them off the chair.
That is great. Next one. I shat in my boxers during a village cricket match. Then to get rid of them, I posted them through the bottle bank.
Oh.
Which I've posted a fudge through an envelope before for a laugh. By fudge I don't mean poo, I mean fudge.
To try and make it seem like shit.
No, just for a laugh.
Okay.
I was in Padstow. There isn't a lot to do. Next one. In my uni dorm, we took pictures of people who came into our flat and put them on the wall, sorted on an axis of autistic to retarded. No comment.
No, I like the idea. I was trying to think of where I would fit in that axis.
Right, okay, yeah.
I think...
I like the phrase axis of autistic. That's what
Yeah.
they should rename the spectrum.
Yeah.
The axis of autistic.
Yeah, that's a real axis war.
Yeah. The axis powers. It's just like loads of people with autism.
You do get powers with both of them, in fairness.
Yeah,
One,
that's...
you might be like really good at a particular thing. The other one, you might just be really strong.
Yeah. Or like good at blackjack. Good at blackjack, really strong.
Yeah.
Next one. I'm a teacher, and I accidentally gave a Muslim student a bacon sandwich on a school trip. Next one. I was making a TikTok when I was 18 called Prism Worst Pools Part 1, which is a compilation of me and my mate necking mingers in Prism Cardiff. Wow.
I'd say that went down well with their female friends.
He offered to send me the link. I was like, man, I think I'm alright, actually. Yeah.
That's better off lost footage.
Seen enough traumatizing footage today. We've watched underwater rugby. Next year, nope, never mind. Every year, when we would do shoeboxes for Africa, my mate would ask, why are we putting shampoo in it? Aren't they all bald anyway? No.
I also love giving them like a collection of things that can't work together because I've left out a key component.
Yeah, yeah.
Enjoy that fucking Game Boy without the battery or the games. Or I've never given them that much along those lines.
There's no. I'm gonna say I know you. There's no way you're giving up a fucking Game
Maybe
Boy.
like a flashlight with no batteries.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, or something. With
You did Shoebox for Africa, right?
Shoebox appeal, yeah.
Which is rough for you because you probably didn't have enough to fill the shoebox.
I was giving them the shirt on my back. Half.
They should be giving you stuff.
Yeah. Although the shirt on my
Shoebox-
back would stitch together to fucking fill a village.
Yeah, yeah. That's true.
It's like, oh lads, we've got a new curtain.
Oh, finally something to put around the shower. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That'll do the tarpaulin for the house.
He's basically giving them a fucking roof. Yeah, that's brilliant. Your shirt is massive, and African children are generally very small.
Yeah, this is an XL. I imagine the average Africans.
That's an Ireland XL, which is like an African, like the numbers don't even go that big. I don't think. Yeah. I'm an African XL, at least. I'm an African triple XL probably.
I'm like a sweatshop 6XL.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Why are we putting shampoo in it? Aren't they all bald anyway? I don't think of them as bald. African
They've just
people.
got skin fades.
Yeah. They got like a
Like sharp lineups
clean lineup. Yeah.
with the chalk on the sides and stuff.
Yeah. And like an eyebrow slit.
Yeah.
Yeah, techie trims. But I always used to put like things that like I knew would be like there's no way it's worth to send this all the way to Africa.
Yeah.
There's no way this can be worth it overall.
Yeah, like do they really need 3 fucking rubbers and a sponge?
Exactly. Like, what are they actually going to do with this?
Yeah.
Because what I'm selling them is basically like a refresher and a glue stick,
Yeah.
which I'm like, okay, but that's really not going to help.
And there probably wasn't even one with solvents in it, so they couldn't have a good time with it.
Yeah. It's Prit. It's very low key.
Yeah.
Which like, how is this going to solve poverty in any way?
Have you ever huffed glue?
No. I've huffed markers. I like markers.
Yeah.
Those are good. Because in Indonesia, like they still had the old markers,
Yeah.
which
fuck,
old
yeah, the
old
good
technology,
shit.
which still
Yeah,
had the good
nice
shit
one.
in them. So you would actually probably get proper. It probably kills your brain cells, but
I had a big balloon phase for a while. I
what?
didn't realize how
Helium or not?
not.
Really?
I say a while, like for a week-long trip to Calvos.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I tried them before and after, but they didn't hit the
You
same.
went on a balloon bender.
Yeah, I think I was saying to you, the woman that was selling them
Yeah.
got the canisters from a dentist. That it was the same stuff they give people whenever you get your wisdom teeth.
I went on
out.
a balloon bender as well. Me and Elton John flew in a Zeppelin. That's not relevant. No, that's what we should send to Africa.
balloons and
Nangs.
nos.
Yeah, nos. Yeah.
Yeah, they
'Cause-
fucking love it there.
Well, they probably already have that stuff actually.
Yeah,
Because I always hear about like the one thing they definitely do have is like that stuff that's brewed in the back of a shed that definitely makes you blind. You always hear about.
Gin. Or like moonshine.
Yeah, you always hear about that stuff.
Yeah.
So like,
One of my friends brought a bottle of it to my house on Christmas whenever I was back in Ireland.
yeah.
The person that brewed it was his parish priest. He brews like poachine. and-
I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe
if
it
there
was
was
just-
if there was ever an opportunity to slip a roofie into anything, this guy's made it.
yeah.
in his
But
shed.
at the same time, he's giving it to people way past his age bracket.
Oh right, so it must be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he was giving it to fucking primary school children, that's whenever you keep an eye on him.
Right. To summarize, I don't think there's anything that fits in a shoebox that can actually help poverty. Nothing.
Yeah.
Like, what are you supposed to send them?
The Daily Stoic book.
Yeah, just some power thoughts. Diary of a CEO. You send them the Stephen Bartlett collection. Just
Tyson Fury autobiography.
a bottle of Huel. Bottle of Huel, one of those health trackers, maybe Apple Watch, Addy Zero trainers. Yeah, that's what you should send them. The Proddy C,
Starter pack.
the running kit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then they probably don't do enough exercise with lazy bastards. They don't have enough grind set. That's why they're
That's
so
the
poor.
issue,
Yeah.
yeah.
You need to get up at 4 a.m., put your face in a bowl of ice, dive in a pool, eat a I don't know,
Yeah. That's what we should do.
eat a balanced.
We should send them lots of bags of ice.
Yes, yeah, that's good.
They just get a dump shoebox.
So if you're in Africa and you want a bag of ice, we're starting a new
yeah.
drive. We're gonna raise loads of money, and then we're going to buy loads of ice and send it to Africa.
Yeah. We are going to help foreigners with our ice.
Yeah. So everyone in Africa can dunk their face in a bowl of ice at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And on that note, it's time to end the show. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to like, subscribe, unsubscribe and subscribe again. Does that help? Probably
It gives you double the subs.
Right. So just keep running it back.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, reach out to a sort of call center in India and maybe get all of them to subscribe as well.
Yeah, that would put us up to near 45k. Have we got all 700 of them?
Yeah.
Tell your friends.
If we get everyone in India to subscribe, we'll have like 1 billion subscribers.
Yeah.
And then we'd be sound.
Put a link to our podcast in your PM pin or your BBM thing.
Yeah. Change your bio to just a link to our podcast.
Yeah.
And then
Broadcast it.
Yeah, broadcast it. Go live on YouTube, just showing old episodes of our podcast.
Yeah.
We probably won't copy strike you. And rate us 5 stars on the podcast platforms. And we'll see you again next time. Back to you in your house.